to play? I mean, it's not like I have so many games to choose from that it would be a hard decision. There's just so much to play. What do you think I should play, Giant Anthropomorphic Calculator? Oh, really? And what might that game be? Sexy. What's up, people? It's Mister Nym. And today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than what you usually see on this channel. Normally you see gaming videos or vlogs, a lot of vlogs lately. But today, I am finally going to be fulfilling a promise that I made years ago, and ever since then, and most recently in one of my latest vlogs. This is a review. And if you couldn't guess, by the giant anthropomorphic calculator over there, this review is about... What's that sound?
She gone? Okay, good. So, Undertale. Undertale! You know Undertale. I know Undertale. Your mom probably doesn't know Undertale. Unless, you told her about it, or she's one of those cool moms who plays video games, But anyway, if you don't know Undertale, then what are you doing? Go check out this series. Me and Jesse on Glorious Games Chip. No, really, go. Now!
Being serious for a second, if you haven't watched the game or played the game, I suggest going to do that before watching this review. Mainly because you cannot talk about Undertale without spoiling something for someone. So, while you can make your own decisions, I would highly suggest avoiding this if you know nothing at all about the game. But hey, you can't avoid all of that since you can make, what are you, Jesus? Got wings? I didn't think so.
So, spoiler alert out of the way, here goes nothing. Undertale is a game made for the PC that came out in late 2015. It was created by a guy who made the music for Homestuck, which I've never heard, and a Halloween hack of Earthbound, which I've never played, nor had I heard of it until very recently. So, needless to say, I went in not knowing much of what to expect, except what I heard on the internet, where nothing is sacred. What I did know was that it was an old JRPG-style game where nothing had to die, which honestly made the game appeal to me even more. It was a brand new kind of experience that would totally make up for it being turn-based combat. Not my favorite type of gameplay! But in this game, I didn't mind. At all. There was so much that made up for the turn-based combat section, and a lot of it was actually within it. The turn-based combat, the turn-based combat was in the game too, but that's not what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now that I've explained the game a little bit, without further ado, I guess I should probably explain how I'm going to be grading these games I review. I'll have a few sections for review in a game. Now, this will range from different games, but usually it'll be about 4 sections. In this case, story, graphics, sound design, and gameplay. In that order. When I'm afraid of spoiling story, I'll always make a spoiler warning and a timestamp to move to. If you're here to find out more about Undertale, don't want spoilers, get to that time now. Because we're about to dive into story.
The story of Undertale is, well, holy shit. This story is a trip down Talking Flower Lane. The first thing you encounter is a talking flower that tries to give you friendliness pellets. That look suspiciously like little white pills. Oh, he's letting off another volley. Well, guess what, sister? I ain't doing it. No way, bro. Bullets?
Oh my god!
Oh no. actually ends up being our behind-the-scenes antagonist for the entire game. Even though there's another antagonist who seems to take hold of the story, Flowey really pulls the strings of our destruction. He gets kicked away by a goat mom named Toriel who walks you through the tutorial. Wait a second, game. I see how you're playing. Don't hide. I see that shit. I see that shit! Eventually you ask to leave. It might be the only way to progress the story, but it's actually confusing as to why. Maybe you're supposed to project on the character and tell yourself that you would want to get home too, but at the same time that would require you to know the reason that your character went to Mount Ebit? Ebit? Abot? Aboot? Aboot? I don't know. The mountain that serves as a passage to the underground. It may be a bit nitpicky, but it does seem like an important detail. But I think it's really the only problem as a whole I have with the story, because the story of Undertale is phenomenal, filled with twists and turns, and just overall a perfect fusion of comedy and drama. If I had to describe the story to someone who had never played the game before, I'd say it's a lot like Alice in Wonderland combined with The Wizard of Oz. It's about this person, who's neither a boy nor a girl, and that's pretty cool, who falls into a mysterious world and wants to get home. They meet a cast of interesting and awesome characters like Undyne, Metaton, Sexy Metaton, Goat Mom, Sans the comic who speaks in Comic Sans, and the fan favorite, Papyrus. Throughout the game, you have to fight a lot of people, and every creature, no matter major character or fodder enemy, is interesting. You can choose a few different paths to complete the game. Pacifist, probably the hardest one to do, requires you to kill nothing. Yep, it's an RPG where you can kill nothing or no one, instead sparing them by doing so many unique actions that I can't even say them all. So here's a quick scrolling list. There's also Neutral, which I haven't done, but it's essentially in the middle of the road and gets its own unique ending. Then, there's one we did on our channel, popularly known by either Genocide or No Mercy. Toby Fox himself asked at one point for it to be called No Mercy due to the obvious negative connotation of Genocide, but when I personally say it, I switch it around. No Mercy is the later of the two terms, but when I look at it, I feel like light is not what you want with this game. You're supposed to feel horrible, you're supposed to feel like a bad person, but more on that later. Throughout the game, you get told over and over again that there's this big guy waiting for you, the king of the monsters, called Asgore. You're the 7th child who's made it in. But where are the other 6? Well, dead. They're all dead. All the stuff you buy from the Tummy stuff and the Metaton brand stuff is the stuff of dead children. Hey! Whenever Asgore's name comes up, it's in blood red. It's evil. Everyone threatens you about Asgore. But as you progress, you hear more about him and his life with his wife before the first child traveled down. He had a son. He was happy. Why is it that these people seem to think he'll slaughter you? Then we learn another thing. His son died. Delightful. What's even more delightful? The humans killed him. Which is what caused the war between monsters and humans and caused monsters to be trapped under Mount Ebit, Ebat, Abat, Mount Aboot. It's a Canadian mountain. So you figure you're going to fight a giant, powerful, sad, and angry final boss who's going to try and destroy you to save his people. Alright, I'm kitted out, I'm powerful, I know what I'm doing. Let's do this, let's go! He's a goat. He's a goat. Wait, does that mean that... Wait, he's a goat. She's... Is goat mom? Yeah, it doesn't end there. Turns out he's actually a jolly old soul who hates having to kill children and might not even be doing it, but that's another video for another day. And to be honest, that's all I'm gonna spoil. Because here is when the twists twist hard. I don't want to reveal anything, so I'll just say that the story gets a solid A+. It had an amazing plot, characters, the whole shebang. Side note, holy shit, I just spent the better part of 3 pages talking about the story alone. I need to hurry things up. Luckily, the rest is pretty simple to talk about. Undertale's graphics are probably the easiest thing from the game to talk about. The style it uses harkens back to Earthbound and the other Mother games, and holy shit is it beautiful. I won't lie when I say after a while, some of the very dichromatic settings got to me, especially when I had to retrace them all the goddamn time. but they're beautifully constructed and amazingly well done. If I had to pick a favorite setting, I'd say Metaton's Battle Room. Simply because, while it is a simple black and red, it differs from everything else because of it. It really makes it stand out as the arena where something interesting is going to happen. And really, whenever you see Metaton, you know the area is going to be pretty graphically impressive, or something hilarious and awesome is going to happen. Or both. Except for that one time! The areas do tend to repeat themselves a lot, and some segments, especially in the ruins, aren't all that much to look at. But the graphics get a solid A-. Always cool, sometimes a bit repetitive.
Now we get on to the fun part. Because, oh my god, the sound design!
The sound design, and especially the music in this game, is probably my favorite part of the game. It knows exactly how you should feel at all times and plays the right music. It's especially funny that two of my least favorite bosses, because of some of the bullshit in them, also contain two of my top favorite songs. One of them, Undyne's theme, which you've been hearing right now, and the other one called Spider Dance. Seriously though, every sound, every piece of music, every piece of sound design in this game is marvelous. It's so awesome and captivating, in fact, that until I was told, I had no idea that there were some tracks that contained parts of other tracks, like Mad Dummy's boss battle has Spider Dance in it. It's so great that it can distract you from that fact due to its amazing music. The sounds are awesome too. The sounds of speaking give you a great idea of how each character sounds. The sound of being hit gives you that true feeling of being hit. It makes you feel tense, and the death sound is really enough to frustrate the hell out of you after a few times. I guess you could say it's heartbreaking. Even the death music, the music for my least favorite screen, and in my opinion, the most poorly designed screen, is fucking beautiful. The music just doesn't get an A+, it gets a perfect A+. It's literally the most phenomenal part of the game. Now we move on to gameplay. The heart of every game, and this gameplay is really fun. Remember what I said about the turn-based Earthbound style gameplay? Well, that was one of the reasons I almost didn't get the game. I'm not a huge fan of turn-based combat. I find it a bit boring. But this game took it to the next level. The combat is unique as it uses turn-based combat with the options all producing different dialogue from the monster and funny lines that you sometimes won't mind seeing over and over and over. And okay, seriously, fuck you, Undyne! The attacks are even interesting and fun to execute. So you've got your fun combat, your fun dialogue. What about their turn? Usually turn-based RPGs have hits and misses determined by RNG and luck. But not here. Here it's skill. Here we have motherfucking bullet hell. It's the coolest part of the game, but it can get a bit bullshit. Undyne's boss battle throws some things at you midway, and then, at the last second, changes how they work, which is complete bullshit, because if this kills you, you go back to the start. And you have to fight it really 3 times on the same health. And Muffet's boss battle? Fuck Muffet's boss battle. Fuck it. Just no! And Mad Dummy has some things with it too, but he's less unpleasant. One of my biggest problems is that saving sends you back quite a bit sometimes, which can have you repeating dialogue that you've seen 1,000 times. This is actually preemptively stopped sometimes, like a Metaton's final boss battle. Sexy Metaton. What else does this game have to offer, though? Puzzles. Puzzles in this game are, on the most part, good stuff. But then there's some puzzles that are a pain in the ass holding over. Really. The leaf puzzle in the ruins is the best example, because if you fuck up once, you have to go back to the start. And if you decide to go back for something, you have to do it again. And again. And again. Oh my god! One more thing I wanted to talk about. I mentioned the genocide/no mercy game mode earlier for a very good reason. If you decided you were going to watch my No Mercy run with Jesse on Glorious Gamesmanship, you watched me have a lot of fun. I felt like I was being evil. Flowey kind of almost egged me on. I had been told I wasn't supposed to have fun with it, and I have still to this day, and yet, it was fun. Maybe I just attached myself. Maybe it has to do with the gameplay. Even being the cruelest I could be, I still had fun. I think this actually speaks to the good time that the game presents, especially considering I played Pacifist before. I was able to have fun even while grinding and killing my favorite characters. That's really all I wanted to say about the gameplay, so it gets it. It's very fun, but it has some less than fair bits.
So, now it's time to give this game an overall grade. Ladies and gentlemen, Undertale receives an A+.
This game is super fun, and I really can't recommend it enough. It's some of the most fun with a game I've had in a long time, especially a turn-based RPG. It's got a fantastic story with some of the most awesome music in a game I've come across, pretty awesome graphics, and fun but challenging gameplay.
Well, now that that's over, I guess I have to review something else now, don't I? Gee, I hope it's not some overly offensive point-and-click adventure game with a contrived story and a combat system from hell that for some reason is a really big part of the story. Then again, I always was a kidder.